Hello, dear students. How are you? I hope all of you are fine. I, Sunil Dutt Sharma, TGT English, Kendriya Vidyalaya Masrak, welcome you all in our today's class of English. Today we are going to do Taro's Reward. It's a Japanese story from Honeysuckle for class 6. Dear students, as you can see on the screen, Taro's Reward is a beautiful story. And dear students, as we know, literature is an attempt to make the sense of life. This story will give us a sense of life. Dear students, a language has 4 skills. Those are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. First of all, I will tell you this story in my own words. That will be your listening practice. Then you will read this story from the book, line by line and word by word. And while reading, you will speak, you will read it loudly. Then you will get your practice of speaking and reading. And after reading the story, you will make a list of difficult word meanings and you will do the given exercise, both working with the text and working with language. It will give you a better understanding of the lesson as well as you will also get writing practice. And dear students, it will also enrich your vocabulary and you will learn something more and better about moral values. So let's start our beautiful story, Taro's Reward. First of all, I am going to tell you the summary of this story in my own words. Let's start. This story is about a thoughtful and loving son named Taro. Taro is the protagonist, main character in this story. He was a woodcutter. His profession was woodcutting. He was a woodcutter. His income was very low. His earning was low. He was not very rich. He lived with his old parents on a lonely hillside. His father was feeling cold and wanted to drink sake, S-A-K-E, sake, an expensive drink. Sake is an expensive drink to keep his old body warm. But Taro's income was not enough to buy sake. As Taro was a dutiful son, so he decided to work harder than ever to earn more money to buy sake for his old father. Next day, he went to the forest early and started working hard. He chopped the woods very fast. He felt thirsty. Suddenly, he heard the sound of rushing water. He was surprised because there was no river or waterfall in that part of the forest. He ran in the direction of the sound. Taro found a beautiful waterfall there. He wanted to drink water. He took some water from the waterfall and drank. He was surprised because it was not water but sake. Taro filled his pitcher full of sake. He came home and gave the pitcher of sake to his father. His father drank a cup of sake and started dancing with joy. After some time, a neighbor visited Taro's father. Taro's father gave her a cup of sake. Taro told her the story of the magical waterfall. She thanked Taro's family and left in a hurry. She told the story of magical waterfall to the whole village. Next day, when Taro went to the waterfall to bring more sake for his father, he found all the villagers with their pots there. The villagers were angry. They found that in the waterfall there was only water and not sake. They felt tricked. They felt deceived. Taro understood the situation and hid himself behind a rock. When all the people left, he came out of his hiding place and tasted the water of the waterfall. He was again surprised because it was sake. The magical waterfall was giving sake to Taro and simple water to other villagers. When the king of that country came to know about this incident, he named the most beautiful fountain in the city after Taro and also rewarded him with gold. The moral of the story is we should honor and obey our parents like Taro. Dear students, I have told you the story. Your listening practice is now over. Now you should read the lesson from the book word by word and line by line. But before that, you look at these words. You may be familiar with them or maybe these words difficult for you. Please have a look at these words. Chopped, cut into pieces. Whistled through, passed through with whistling sound. Cracks, narrow gaps. Sake, a popular Japanese drink. Expensive, costly. Cup, as if in a cup. Delicious, very tasty. Pitcher, an earthen pot. Tricked, deceived. Sent for, cold. Dear students, now you read this lesson from the book and make a list of 10 difficult word meanings which you learned from this lesson. Dear students, now it's your turn to read the lesson from the book and make a list of difficult words. After reading the story, you will do working with the text and working with language. Let's do that also. Working with the text. Answer the following questions. Why did Taro run in the direction of the stream? Second question. How did Taro's father show his happiness after drinking sake? Question number 3. Why did the waterfall give Taro sake and others water? Question number 4. Why did the villagers want to drown Taro? Question number 5. Why did the emperor reward Taro? Dear students, if you will look at this carefully, you can see very clearly after question number 5, after question number 1, in bracket 1 digit 5 is written. At the end of question number 2, in bracket digit 7 is written. Then after question number 3 there is 12. After question number 4 there is 10 and 11. And after question number 5 there is 13 written. These are the numbers of paragraph from which you can get the answer of these questions. For example, why did Taro run in the direction of the stream? This is first question. And after this question in bracket 5 is written. You can get the answer of this question from paragraph number 5 in your book. Paragraph number 5 of this lesson. There you can find out this answer. Then there are MCQs, multiple choice questions. Taro earned very little money because he didn't work hard enough. The villagers didn't need wood. The price of wood was very low. Question number 2. Taro decided to earn extra money to live a more comfortable life, to buy his old father some sake, to repair the cracks in the hut. Dear students, first of all, you read these questions carefully and try to answer these questions on your own, honestly. After that, you can match your answers with mine one. Yes, these are model answers. You can get an idea how to prepare your answers. These are model answers only. Your answers may vary, but remember, dear students, your answers should be logical. Now it's time for working with language. In working with language, we learn something more about grammar, and for this portion also I have given answers, but first you will try on your own. These are the answers to working with language. This is very important slide. You look at this carefully. Something more about language. Dear students, in this lesson, adjectives have been used in abundance. Many adjectives have been used in this lesson. Let's learn something about adjectives. An adjective is a word which modifies or qualifies a noun or pronoun. For example, Swami Vivekananda was a wise saint. In this sentence, wise is an adjective which modifies the noun saint. Dear students, an adjective has 3 degrees. Number 1, positive degree. Number 2, comparative degree. Number 3, superlative degree. When we simply talk about somebody's merit or demerit without comparing him or her with anybody else, we use positive degree. As we have seen in the example, Swami Vivekananda was a wise saint. We are not comparing Swami Vivekananda with anybody else. So we have used positive degree. When we want to compare two persons or two things, we use comparative degree. For example, you can take the example of Taro. Taro was working harder than other people of his village. Working harder. Work hard, harder, hardest. So when we are comparing Taro with other people, then we are using comparative degree. In the use of comparative degree, dear students, usually we use then, THAN, then, after comparative degree. Wiser than, sadder than, better than, more than, more beautiful than. These are the uses of comparative degree. Superlative degree, when we are comparing more than two, then we use superlative degree, and usually superlative degree takes the before it, the wisest, the saddest, the best, the most beautiful. Now look at the given adjectives. wise, wiser, wisest, sad, sadder, saddest, good, better, best, much, more, most, beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. Now look at this table again. Dear students, how we can make comparative degree and superlative degree from a positive degree. This is hidden in this table. Wise became wiser by adding er and wisest by adding est. Sad has become by adding er and est. But in good, the whole word totally changed. Earlier we were able to make comparative and superlative by adding er and est respectively, but here good has become better. The whole word changed entirely, and again better changed into best. So this is the second way, entire change of the word. Then by adding more and most, beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful, by adding more and most to the positive degree. In this way also we can make comparative and superlative degrees. Dear students, I hope you have understood what an adjective is and how to make degrees from positive to comparative and superlative. Now, fun with language. Yes, dear students, it is like a game. It's like some fun with language. There are two sentences given. You try to read first and then learn these sentences by heart. Let's try. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck would chuck wood? You try it at least 3 times, and if you are not familiar with woodchuck and chuck words, you take help of dictionary and you will get wonderful meanings, and this sentence will become your pet sentence. Such type of sentences are known as tongue twisters. Now the second sentence. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the bit of butter was a little bitter, so she bought some better butter to make the bitter butter better. This is the second tongue twister. You learn both the sentences by heart and play with the language. Now let's move ahead. Dear students, we have read the lesson carefully. We have done working with the text and working with language. We have learned something more about adjectives, and we have learned how to change the positive degree into comparative and superlative degrees. I hope all of you enjoyed this lesson, and you will also try to become an obedient son and an obedient student like Taro. Dear students, be happy, be safe, and keep learning. Thanks a lot for listening to me carefully and with patience. Thank you.